Ihr habt das Mikrofon zugedreht, ich höre euch nicht. Die HTL Mödling bereit, können wir starten? Ah, okay. Bestens. Okay, I would like to welcome you to the Python training. This training takes place in English and will be recorded because our Lisbon partner isn't here today. So you can watch it again in eTwinning. Yes, it's true. 2 years later, we really start our mission and we will meet in Vienna and Lisbon. I hope you did your self-instructions in eTwinning because you will learn your partners in these 2 meetings. Yes, the training is held by Raphael Schwärzler, a student on the HTL Bregenz. And now I will hand over to him. If you have any questions, please write it in the chat, then we can answer it in this training. And now have fun with Python for EV3. So Raphael, you can start.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to share my screen with you. Can you see my PowerPoint presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Is the sound okay? Perfect. Okay, today I'm going to show you how to work with MicroPython and to let our robot drive. Okay. What are we going to do today? First, I'm going to show you some basic Python like variables, functions, classes, and then we are going to work with the variables, comparison operators, and how we can call functions. And after that, I'm going to try to show you how MicroPython works, and we are going to create a new project and let the motor drive. And if we have enough time, we are going to add sensors to our program. Okay. Yeah, why Python? Because Python is one of the most popular programming languages out there right now. So let's dive right in. First, some definitions. What is a variable? A variable is just like a box where you can store something in it, like here visualized. And in code, it shows it is a little different. And here's an example like speed equals 500, and this is how it works. Just take a name, make an equal sign, and put the value after it. But later more. Then, what's a function? A function is also very easy. It's just a group of code that you can call with a simple name and some brackets. And then it will go to the right point in the code and run this code. Then just that you know it, what a class is. A class is just a group of other classes, functions, and variables. So it's just a summarize of everything put in one object. And it encodes, but we only need this on the right side, like the EV3 brick equals brick and so on. But this comes at the end of my presentation. So first I'm going to show you how variables really work. So a variable, when we have a box, we can name the box and put something in it into the box, so we can use it later. And as you can see, we can put names. We can put simple trues and false in it, and also numbers. So just a very, very simple example is we write the code x equals 13, and a very simple question, what is x now? Yeah, x is actually 13. So very, very simple. So, but what do we need to do when we trying to put text into the variable? Just like you can see, the code needs quotes, because the code does not know that this is just a text and not a code that the program should run. So like here, if you have an x equals hello, this is some text, and we going to show what is in it. We can see, wait a second, it's not working. Yeah. Okay, what is x now? X is just hello, this is some text, so no quotes if we use the variable later. Another very important thing is that the names of the variables starts every time with a letter and has no special characters in it, but except the underline, because the underline is allowed. Then some more professional names for the variables, like an integer is a number with no comma, a float is a number with a comma, and a string is a text, a boolean is true or false. So these are just professional names. We don't really need that names in our code, but for every programmer that already knows how to program, this is how it is professional pronounced. Okay, and then now we are trying to compare variables. So in every code we write, we need to compare things so we can make decisions and don't let the robot drive just straight and left and right and then finish. We need to, or I hope everybody of you does this and says, yeah, we will wait until our color sensor hits green and then stop, or something like that. And for this we need comparing operators, and these are, I think, all of the comparison operators that we can use. And there's very simple, like 14 is less than 20, and of course this gives us an output, and the output is true, and true means it's right and false means it's false. So if we have another example with 14 is less than 20, it will be false. And now I will ask you, because I don't know if you already understand all these comparison operators. So just a simple question. Do you know what 14 is less or equal 20? I don't. If you raise your hand, if you know it, that would be very good for me. So nobody knows it. Okay. It's true, because 14 is less than 20, and because we can the equal sign is just for if it's the same. So it could be also 20 is less or equal 20, then it would be also true, because 20 is equal to 20. So then another example for 14 less or equal 20. This time it's false, because 14 is actually less than 20 and not greater than 20. Okay, now the equal sign. we need the equal sign, because if we only use one equal, the program thinks that that it needs to put something into a variable, but we only compare things, so we need two equals that the program knows we are comparing and not writing a variable. And as you can see, it's false because 14 is not the same as 20. And then another special operator is the not equal. It just uses an exclamation mark and an equal sign. So 14 is not equal to 20. This is actually true. So now, for that I really know that you did understand it, I'll try to ask you again. But is this true or is it false? I have an idea how to ask you. So everybody who thinks this is true, please raise your hands. Okay, it looks like everybody did understand that it's false. Okay, this is also false, so we need some more difficult examples like this one here. Okay, now again, everybody raise your hands if you think it's true. Okay, it looks like everybody did understand that. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to skip some of these. Or is somebody who didn't understand it? It looks like everybody did understand, so I will skip some of these and we will go on. Okay. Next are the more difficult and or operators. If you did program, you already know that, but I think there are some people that didn't program. So an AND operator needs both sides to be true. So true and true is true. And as you can see, if only one is false, it's every time false. Then the OR operator works a little different because it needs only one thing to be true. So true or true is true, and as you can see, true or false is also true because it only needs one thing to be true, and it needs two false to be false. Okay, now some more difficult example. We are mixing these two comparison operators, or three. It's actually three. So now again, please raise your hand if you know the answer. And okay, some of you know the answer. Okay, and now everybody raise your hands if you think it's true. Okay, everybody thinks it's true. Yes, of course, because the first one is true and the second one is true. And if we compare them, it's actually also true. Then I think it's a more difficult example. So please raise your hands again if you think it's true. Okay, it looks like some of you think it's true, but it's false. But why? Because why? Wait a second. It is true. Because the first one is true, the second one is false, and the OR operator only needs one thing to be true, so it's true. Okay. So now we are replacing the numbers with variables. So we know that 14 is less than 20 is true. But if we use x and y, so just some variables, we don't know what the output will be because we didn't assign some numbers to the variables, and the code will produce an error if you do that. So if we put x equals 14 and y equals 20 and compare them, we will get the same output. And if you use some more difficult, I think it's very easy, some more other examples. If we choose x to be 24 and y to be 12 and compare them, what do you think the output will be? Will it be true or will it be false? So please raise your hands if you think it's true. Okay, perfect. It's false because if we put the numbers into the for the variables, we see that 24 is not greater than 12. Okay, then I have some more example, but I think you really know now how it works, and I think there are some more people that program. I will skip this, and I have only one last example, I think, or yes, it's the last example, and then everybody is doing some things on their own. So x is 14 and y is 20, and if we compare them like that, is it true or is it false? So please raise your hands if you think it's true. Okay. Actually, as we can see, x is 14, so 14 is less than 25, so the first one is true. And the second one, 20, is greater than 7, so it's also true. And the complete outcome is true. Okay, now we're going to look at functions and if and while also. So the most common and I think also the most important function is print. So how do we call a function? We need to use brackets. And just like this function would run. But the print function uses arguments. So we don't want to print nothing, we want to print something. So we put just into the brackets, we put a variable, or here it's the text, it's a text. And if we run this function like this, print hi, it will print hi. So now I hope it works. I'm going to show you the does everybody have a running computer? Okay, I hope so. So now no, it didn't work. 1 second, please. Okay. Now you should see the V3 editor. And how do we get to this V3 schools editor? Just type in Google V3 schools. Oh, V4 schools. Okay, it found it. Then click on Python tutorial. And if you clicked on Python tutorial, scroll a little down and click on example and try it yourself. And when you click on that, you will come to this page. I don't see. 1 second. Did everybody found the V3 schools editor? I see that you're typing, so I will wait. Okay, please just raise your hands if you are on the editor. Okay, if you are on the editor, you can click on run and it will run the code. So when I will just make an example with when I put some other text in there, so like hello Dan, and run this code, it will actually print hello Dan. And what we can also do with this is very cool, because we can put our comparison things in there, like 14 less than 13 less than 14. And when I run this, it should give the output true, and it did. So it works. If you want to do, you can put some comparisons on your own in there to look if it really works, and try something out that you're interested in, or I don't know. Just try it out, please. You can also use more print functions. So you can type more print functions under it, like print, and you can also print other things like laughing. And what I didn't mention was that it will, for every print, it will print a new line. So if I copy this and paste it in a little bit, it will print a lot more of them.
How to compare Zahlen with comma?
Numbers with
Numbers
commas?
with comma?
Oh yes. Okay. There is a thing that commas in Python, and I think so in other programming languages, are printed with a dot. It's because it's more English than German. So
okay, thanks.
Just use a dot and you can compare floats or numbers with commas.
Thanks.
Okay, if you tried enough of this, we can go on and try to make an if else. Okay, I put my where is it? So now you should see my presentation again, but it's the false. Perfect. Okay. The cool things about if and else's is that in English it's it matches the speech perfectly. So if we say if 12 is less than 5, it will run code. And if it's not, so else, it will run another code. So as you can see in the first line, you need to put a comparison in it, or just true or false. And you also need to make sure that your code, like here print true, has a space there, a tab space. So the program knows that the print is from the if, from the if, yes. And please do not forget the double points after the end of the if or else. And also else work without the if. So if you have an if, you can let the else, you don't need the else, but if you want to have the else, you can put it right under it. And to start the else, you don't need the tabulator anymore there. And what do you think will the code print out? Just please raise your hands if you think the code will give out true. Okay, now please raise your hands if you think the code will print out false. Okay, that looks very good. So the code indeed does print out false. And why is it printing a false? Because 12 is not less than 5. So perfect. You can now try again to put that into your V3 schools if you haven't already done it. And did it work? I see you are all typing, so I assume you are trying out if. Okay, please raise your hand if this if worked on the V3 schools. Okay, I assume you're needing a little more time.
Like in my monitor, it says traceback most recent calls, file error, invalid syntax. What does it mean?
It means you typed wrong code.
Yeah, okay.
But okay. Actually, there is a thing that if you type it in, you need to make sure that you didn't forget the double point, and make sure the tabulator. It could be that the website is using the tabulator. Wait a second. I hope I.
Oh,
can
now I found the.
You found the error.
Yes.
So I'll type it in for just a quick example.
Yes, it works.
Perfect. Oh, what I forgot to mention, if you want to put a false or true directly into it, you need to make the false capital and the true also. Okay, it looks like some of you are finished, so I hope I can go on. But there's a hand raised, or is it clear? Okay. I think I'll go on. Okay, now I hope everybody's listening. Now we are trying to call a function. And how do we do that? First, we need the name of the function. So, oh no, wait a second. If you want to run a function from a class, so first we need to initialize our class. So we need a variable for the object that the class is giving us. So when I type in wheel equals motor, and motor is a class, and we need to call the class, so it gives us back the object from the class. And we also need to, the class doesn't need any time parameters, but in this time we don't know which motor it is, so there needs to be something like a port A. And if we did that, we can access all the functions from the motor, so to run it and let the motor drive and make some turns. We just need to type in the name of the object with a dot, and then we'll type in the function. And as we know, we can run a function only with brackets, and so we put brackets in there. But this function also needs some parameters, and the parameters in this function is just the speed in degrees per second. So I just put in 200, and now the robot should drive. Okay. I think these are all the basics I needed. So now we'll try to start to create a new project. So please open your Visual Studio Code. Now you should see something like this. Okay, just quick raise your hand if you open Visual Studio, or if it's just if it's still starting. It looks like it's still starting.
I just have to download it. It's not on my PC.
Okay. Die E-Mail nicht gelesen, ey. Hat er die E-Mail nicht gelesen? Okay, but everybody else, did Visual Studio Code start, or did it give some problems? Nope. Okay, so go on, and I need to go on because I can't. We don't have enough time to wait until Visual Studio Code is installed on your PC. So sorry. Then first, please click on this EV3 icon. And if you clicked on the EV3 item icon, click on Create a new project. Now it is asking you for a name, and I will just call it tutorial. And then I will press enter and it will create a new project. And if you get a notification for when it asks for trust, just trust it.
How can I start a new project? I wasn't listening.
Oh, you need to first install the package.
Yeah, I installed it right now. Now I have it open.
Okay, then just click on the icon and then click on create a new project, and then just.
I don't have the icon.
Then you didn't install the EV3 library.
So
You need that too. Okay, I hope everybody else has this screen. So please just quick raise your hand so I can see it. Okay, not everybody has it now. Okay, then just click on the main.py and it will open the first Python code that will run on the. Is this so? Okay, then please listen to me and I will explain the code that is already there. So first, the hashtags are just for the program, just for the programmer. So these are comments, so they don't actually run on the program if you run it. So from pybricks.hubs import ev3 brick. What does that mean? It just means that it imports us all the libraries that we need to drive our motor and don't need to make any unnecessary programs and can really quick make programs for the EV3 that it can run a lot around. So now I will just connect my EV3 with Bluetooth. You can also use your USB cables. And you should see under there in EV3 device browser that your EV3 device browser, and click here to connect. And if it is already connected with your USB cable, it should also work. So I don't see my device because I don't have my Bluetooth enabled. So I'll just quick enable my Bluetooth, or better connect to my EV3. You also need to enable Bluetooth on your EV3. So if you did, I don't know if you're wanting to do that right now or if you want to use your USB cables, because I think there are way too many people in your classes. So you can, I think you should use your USB cable, or you should use your Bluetooth, but it will get a little messy. Too many robots there. So connect a Bluetooth device. It's for the future. I will show it to you because it is a little, how do I spell it? A little bad sometimes because it does not connect. I'll just click on if it's the right device, and it will try to make a connection. And if it works, it should there should show up if I can connect it. Oh, it's not visible. Okay. And I'll do it again because I forgot. Full screen. So, yes, it needs to be visible, and then it will show up on your PC. I hope it will do, but now it's not finding anyone. And there it is. So just connect, and I need to accept. Types, so accept and accept. And now it did connect my EV3 with my PC, and most of the time it does not show up in here, but this time it does. So I'll just click on it, and it will try to connect to my EV3, and if it succeeds, the yellow dot will get green. It looks like it failed to connect to the EV3, and I think I know why. Because I need to go into the wireless networks and on all networks, and now I need to click on my PC, and connect automatically needs to enable. So it did this already automatically, so it should connect now. I have a lot of clicking problems. It does not accept my clicks. Why does it not? I think I need to disable my presentation to get it to work. I have various problems, so I'll just connect it with my cable as well. But normally a quick reboot would do it, but in this case it needs too much time, so I need to go on. Where is it? Wireless networks, Bluetooth, power off. So, okay. And if on your PC it gets green, you only need to press F5, and your robot should beep. So you can try that until I get mine to work.
I don't have a working robot at home. What shall I do?
I don't know.
Just listening or...
Okay. It looks like my EV3 device browser is frozen, so I need to start Visual Studio again. And I'll click to connect, and I'll connect to my EV3 via USB. If you noticed, my camera is on, and you should see my EV3. And I hope you can see this. As you can see, it turned green and my communication worked. So I will just press the F5 button, and now the robot should. And it did. So it worked. I hear some beeps in my class, so it looks like they figured it out. I need just some quick feedback. Did it work on your PC? So please, yes, raise your hand. It looks like, okay, perfect. It did work. So I will go on. Okay, as you can see, it is creating objects in here, and the program should be down here for the comments, like the comments say. So now we are going to add motors to our program so we can drive our EV3 around. So if we wanna add a motor, we need a name for the motor, and I will just call it motor left and motor right. But first I will make the object for motor. And I did forget on which port it was, so I will just on my finished code. I have my finished code. Should have my finished code here. Okay. My right motor is on C and my left motor is on B. I hope you can follow me. So I'll go on, and next I will type in, I will let the beep in and make some free space. And as I did it before, we can use now the objects from the motors. So I will just say motor left dot run, and on some speed like 200. But please wait with running the code, because I did get some issues because the code ends right after it, and outcomes, the motor never drives, or the motor will drive after the program is closed, and that's not what you want. So please be careful. And how we can do that? To avoid this, we need to put motor left dot stop. But now we are turning our motor on and stopping it right after that, and that's also not what we want. So there is a function that waits for us some milliseconds. So I'll type in wait, and in the wait function we can put some milliseconds in. So I think 1000 milliseconds should be fine, because then it will run for 1 second. Because we are using the USB cable, if we are trying to use the F5, it could be that our EV3 does drive away and just takes the USB cable with it, and that's a bit bad. So down here on the EV3 device browser, you can press on the download button, send workspace to device, it's called, and when you click on it, it will only download it onto your device, and you should get from the file device browser into your how is it called? Into your file device, and as you can see, there is a home robot tutorial on my device. And if I now unplug it from my PC, I don't really know if you see my camera, so I will put spotlight on. I hope it should work. Now you should see my robot. And as you can see, oh, that's very bad. So I did forgot to turn on. Okay, so I just adjust the camera a little bit and click on the main pipe. And if everything works, the left motor should drive for 1 second. And it did. Perfect. Did everybody see that, or I see that you are a bit working right now. Okay, please raise your hand if your robot did already drive. Okay, no robot did drive, but raise your hand if
working, I think.
Yes. But did the robot beep? Did you get that, or am I too fast? Okay, were there any problems, or are there any problems that I can help with? Okay, it looks like. Okay. Then please tell me your problems so I can help.
Could you please show us the Visual Studio Code again?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Is it possible to increase the font size a little bit, because it's very difficult to see?
Yes. It should.
Thank you.
I did not found. It take too long until I found it.
Raphael, I think it's in the editor layout. View editor layout. View.
Yes.
Editor layout.
Oh, yes.
Erstes Mal schauen, ob der Link wirklich wie ist. Ja, das Thema. Dann musst du die nächste Zahl abschicken. Also die ja, das Schrift. Unterstrich, also das wieder etwas größer Unterstrich kopieren und
Yes.
Oh ja, statt dem Bindestrich ist gleich. Ja.
Okay, now I hope you can see it.
Thank you.
Nein, das ist wie lange das sind Millisekunden. Nächste Zahl.
Oh, there's another question, I think.
Wait. Dann Klammer auf, wegladen. 1000. Dann nächste Zahl. Und dann Motor und
Is there a question from Hazel Mödling? Because the hand is raised.
If you have a question, Hatel Mödling, you should open your microphone.
Yeah, we have a question, but I think we have to manage it ourselves because we cannot connect the robot to our computer. So there seems to be a problem, but we are working on it. Yeah, so yeah, we might get back to you in some seconds time.
Okay. Did it work on the other computer? So please just raise your hands if you did get your motor to drive for a second or so. No, it looks like you need some more time. Okay. I will show you another thing, just that you know it. You don't need to use the left motor, you can also use the right motor. Just change the variable name. Just need to plug it in again. Gleich. And if you disconnected your EV3, just connect it again and click on reconnect. If you press right click on it and then just click on reconnect. Ja. Es gibt aber vielleicht noch Counterclockwise. Aber das ist Teil und dann kannst du die Geschwindigkeit umzeichnen. Runtime, ja, es gibt's. Run_time gibt's. Ihr könnt aber Dokumentation nachschauen. Oh, I see the hand is the hand raised again, or is it already is it raised? For a question. Oh. No questions. Okay. Another cool thing you can do, just make the speed negative and it will drive backwards. Okay, how many people did already get the motor to drive? So I can show you another thing. Please raise your hands if you already got your motor to drive. It looks like only a few people did get the motor to drive. That's not very good. Where are the problems? If you have a problem, please just ask. It looks like Mödling has a problem. Can I help? Thank you for asking. We're doing all right. You can go on with your presentation. Yeah.
We just have a bit of problem with connecting the robot.
Connecting our robot, yeah. Okay. What with S, yeah. Okay. Now I wanna show a command. So we already did we already made our objects for the motors, so we can also use something called the drive base, which is very cool. So we don't need that that motor.run and motor.stop and only with a few seconds and so. So I will delete that code, and I will make an. I will call the object robot because I can let it drive anywhere I want to. So I will call it robot equal. And into that drive base, we need to put our motors. First the left motor, then the right motor. Motor left. And with a comma, we can separate the different variables. So motor left and motor right. And what we also need are some parameters from the EV3 itself. So I think you can see it a little bit, but as you can see, the robot has a wheel diameter, and it has a distance between the axes, and we need to measure that. We need to have that measurement, so we can use it in this drive base model. So I did already measured my distance between the wheels and the wheels itself, so I can just look that up. And mine was 67 and 125. So 120. So first is the diameter, and then first the diameter of the wheel, and then the distance between the two wheels. And if you did that, we can use some more cool functions. Now we only need to write robot.distance. Wait a sec. Forgot that one. We can use the command robot.straight and then put the distance in. So I made it actually false. So robot.straight. It's a very cool function. Now we can put millimeters in. It should drive. So I just put in 100 millimeters. And if I download this code on my EV3, and it did download, and now run it, it should drive about 10 centimeters. And it did. Wait a second, I do it again, and this time I will measure the distance it drives. Actually, it did drive. So again, and it looks like it did really well. It just drove about 10.5 centimeters. There is a very cool trick that we can adjust that, or you can just change your wheel diameter and axle track, or it's called, I think, the distance between the But if you drive too far, your diameter is actually too big. So when I put a little down, a little less millimeters for the diameter, it should drive a little less wide. So I'll just connect it again and click on reconnect. And it reconnected, and I download complete, and run again. This time it actually did worse. What did I do wrong? Oh, actually, I set the wrong thing. You need to make your diameter bigger. Lower. So I'll make it 68. Connect it again. Reconnect and download. Download complete. Try and run it again. And the robot did better, but not that much better. Okay, and you don't only can use the straight function, you also use the turn function. So if you use robot.turn and put I think a 90-degree turn would be fine, a 90-degree turn in there, the robot should drive straight 10 centimeters and then turn 90 degrees to the right, I think, if I'm not wrong. So I'll connect it again. And download. And run again. I hope it works. And it did a mostly perfect 90-degree turn. So now I will wait and let you play a little around with that. So just do some things with it. You can play around with the speed and the turn angles and also the distance it should drive and so on. So it looks like you need my code, so I will just put it on there. So feel free to try out. And if are any questions, just ask. Turn the microphone on and ask questions.
Ja, das ist gut. Wieso kannst du so rangehen? Du kannst jetzt nicht sagen, der tut das so gut. Ja, okay, das ist jetzt falsch machen. Ulti ist die ultrasensitiv. Du kannst doch ein Objekt zwischen Sensor abfragen. Das ist das Objekt vom Sensor, weil du nur Punkt Distance anschließt.
Ah ja, Klammer nicht vergessen, gell? Das ist eine Funktion. I need some feedback. How far are you? Did you already let the motor turn and drive straight? Then please raise your hands. Yes, there are some hands, so it looks very good. But some hands didn't come up, so there are a few people that are working on it. It looks like we only have a few minutes left, so I can tell you the last things, how to add a sensor and question the sensor and get the value out of it and compare it and do something with it. I hope you're ready, so I'll explain further. If somebody isn't ready, please tell me, then I will wait a few more seconds. I'll go on. The next thing is we have our motor objects, but we also want another objects for our sensors, and that's also very easy. Just make a name for the sensor. I'll call the sensor U sensor for ultrasonic sensor. And I hope I will type it right, so I will just copy it from up there, so I don't have any mistakes in typing. That didn't work right there. And the ultrasonic sensor also needs a port. But now on the sensor ports, the ports are numbers, and numbers don't work as variables, as we learned before. It needs to start with a letter. So in this case, it's an S and then the number. So my ultrasonic sensor is on the port 1, so S1. But how do we get now the data from the ultrasonic sensor? Down here in the program, put in, but put some more in it, and we will get the data from it, and as we call U sensor dot distance. I hope this time it's right, and like that we will get the sensor data. But if we don't use it, it will give out an error. So I will just type in if the U sensor, which will be I think it will give back millimeters. So I will say if the ultrasonic sensor distance is greater than 100, or yes, I will take 110 centimeters, yes, then the robot EV3, the speaker, say let's go. There we go. Reconnect, download, plug it out, and run the code. And the robot speaked. Let's go. I don't know if you hear that, so I will take the robot up here and run the program again, but this time more by the microphone. So now you should hear the motor drive.
Let's go.
And the motor speaks again. So feel free to try out some more things with this command. And let the robot talk. And if you want, you can remove the beep. Now you can write your... And if you need some more functions for the robots, you can go to the documentation on the internet. Just type in EV3 MicroPython and documentation, and it will be one of the first two things. But I also have the link linked in the PowerPoint. I hope that will be for your use on some platform to download.
Yes, I will put it on the eTwinning page. I guess to you to look on this page. Also, the video will be on this page in a few minutes, and I think we are at the end of the training. Raphael, is this so?
Yes, we reached our end or beginning of the programming, but we are finished with this session.
Okay, super. We are very good in time. So many thanks to Raphael for this training. Let's give him a round of applause. And I'm looking forward to meet you in June in Vienna. Goodbye and all the best from Bregenz to all over the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.